This thing on? I think it's working. Hello and welcome to Saturday in Space. This is Kerbal Space Program and I am Dan Bear Pig. And let's see. Last week we ended with a tragedy after several very encouraging and successful missions. We lost 3 Kerbals. And so today we need to recover from that. Alright, give me a second. I need to post on the social media here. And also, I need to look something up before we get started. Alright. Alright, here we go. Ready to go. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm gonna start game here. And resume saved, and it's our nearly stock final approach. It's not quite stock. The game experience is essentially stock. Just a second, I'm going to adjust my microphone location here. Alright, that should be much better. Okay, so let's take a look. I've done some work off camera, no missions, just some design work. I've got a couple of new spacecraft to show off today. They should work pretty well, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I've made a small adjustment to the mods. Let's pull up the CCAN window here. So the only changes that I have made, I believe I already had MechJeb installed last week. I wasn't using it for anything, but I made a discovery in trying to test some things. And the main reason that I had Ferrum Aerospace installed was not in particular for the aerodynamics calculations, although those are nice, but for the display where I could see my static pressure, dynamic pressure, Mach number, etc. I liked that display better than the one in the stock game. Turns out MechJeb has a really good window for that. And in addition to that, I think that Ferrum was messing with my aerodynamics in a bad way. It was not calculating fairings properly. I think I was getting a lot more drag than I was supposed to be getting on fairings, and so they were being counterproductive instead of making my spacecraft more aerodynamic. I'm getting a lot more sensible aerodynamics now that I've uninstalled Ferrum Aerospace Research. So I've got a MechJeb window up for some of the atmospheric stats, and we can do some interesting data collection with that as well. Any of you who don't know me, I'm a huge fan of charts and graphs. I find them endlessly fascinating, and there's some stuff we can do with that. I'm not going to use MechJeb yet for maneuvers or for any piloting of craft. It's rather controversial, this mod, but once we're in the higher end of the tech tree, it to me makes a lot of sense. It works like a flight computer and is a lot closer to how real spacecraft are flown than flying everything by hand. Even the craft I'm launching now really shouldn't be launched and flown by hand the way I'm doing it, but it's the Kerbal way. So let's see. If we go to Mission Control and go to our archives, we've got this here. Lismin and Theopont Kerman were rescued from orbit and then killed on re-entry. We actually had a pretty good re-entry, and I was trying out one of those Soviet-inspired pods, those spherical ones, and I was not familiar enough with them. And as we detached the built-in heat shield right at the end, right before we were going to do our parachutes, there was a collision between the pod and that heat shield, and the craft was destroyed, and all 3 Kerbals lost. So Lismin and Theopont never made it home, and poor Bill Kerman, on his first flight to space, was also killed. So I am now without an engineer. I am without any pilots, because they're all off in deep space, and I need more pilots. And worse, let's look at the available missions. There are no recovery, no rescue Kerbal missions. and those are how I get my Kerbals without having to pay exorbitant fees to hire them. So this is actually quite a disaster for our space agency here, for the Terran Empire. Let's take a look at the astronaut complex. So yeah, Lenzi is the only one that I have. He's a scientist. He's another one that I rescued from orbit from another space agency. And if I am to hire a Kerbal, it would cost 62,000 spaceos. And I could do that, and I've got plenty of pilots available, and I might go ahead and do that, but every Kerbal I hire, the next one costs significantly more. And it adds up very quickly, so it really, really pays to rescue them from orbit. So hopefully I get offered some more of those missions, and hopefully, having failed so spectacularly at rescuing Kerbals, other agencies aren't saying, let's just leave our Kerbals lost in space, it's safer than letting Dan pilot them home. So, let's take a look. I've got a couple of new spacecraft, as I mentioned, and while I was messing around a little bit before stream, trying to decide how to start this off, I came up with a kind of a weird idea. And so here is the flagpole at the Kerbal Space Program, at the Kerbal Space Center. There's one at the launch site too, but this is the main flagpole, and it's right outside of the astronaut complex. I think this would be a fantastic place to start a memorial for fallen Kerbals. And I could walk a Kerbal there. I don't really have any good rover parts to build a little rover to drive out there, because I think I get a new flag every time I go inside of a pod. I could, using some plane parts, but it's kind of derpy. And then I thought, why not go full derp? And this can't possibly go wrong, right? So it would be either a walk from here or a walk from here, depending on if I launch from the runway or the launch pad. And we're going to launch from the launch pad, and yes, I do mean launch. So I've I've designed a little bit of a hovercraft, and it is completely ridiculous. I don't have propellers. I was thinking maybe if I had a quadcopter or something, but I don't have any of the propellers yet. So, where was it? I think I saw it. Here we go. And again, Dan with the very creative names, just Hover 1. So yeah, this is a jet-powered hovercraft, using the only landing legs I have so far, because I haven't unlocked the sturdier landing legs. And actually, yeah, no, that is extended. So yeah, I think we're good to go on that. So this, I did a test flight, and while I didn't kill anyone else, I've got a little pod on the top for stability assist. So this is computer-assisted flight, so because Lenzi is a scientist and he is the only one I have, and it doesn't feel right to send a robot to do the memorial service. So Lenzi, who is the only Kerbal available to me right now, is going to perform the memorial service. So let's do this, shall we? We're gonna launch. Make sure he is on board. Yes, he is. And let's go ahead and launch. And even better, let's do it from, oh, you know what? I just did that whole thing with CCAN up. That is the derp. So I'm looking at my screen and not at my my stream monitor here. So, all right. So this is the first time you get to see this. So, all right. We're starting off with a derp, and it's not as bad as the derp we ended with. So yeah, we're starting off with this derp here. Yeah, if I do something like that, just let me know and I will fix it. Hey, Raider. So, how much did you hear of the plans? You were here for the tragedy at the end of last week, right? Where we lost 3 Kerbals. We are going to go perform a memorial service, and rather than walk to the flagpole, not that flagpole, that's going to be right in the way of some exhaust fumes, and I don't want to knock down any flags. But on the other side of the vehicle assembly building is the astronaut complex. All right, no clue what I'm up to. Okay, so you didn't see me explain everything, but still have the CCAN window up like this, just blocking everything. So, before stream, I was just, I had a little bit of time, and so I was just playing around with some ideas, and I don't have the right parts to make a rover to drive Lindsay Kerman over to the astronaut center. So instead, I made a jet-powered hovercraft. And I did a test flight, and it was pretty derpy. I've got newfound respect for people who fly helicopters. But so let's hop in and actually go into the IVA view. So we're inside the vehicle, and if I angle the camera like this, I can see my my dials here, and I can see my nav ball, and I've got the stuff from Kerbal Engineer. So the critical values are going to be my thrust to weight ratio. If I have a perfect 1, then I am counteracting gravity exactly, at least in the direction that I'm pointing. So in theory, I can hover that way. But I also want to pay very close attention to my vertical speed and my horizontal speed as well, although it's my eye's going to be firmly glued on this vertical speed. So, all right, Lindsay is not a pilot. I am out of pilots, but I've got a computer installed on this thing. If I go back out here, I've got this probe core on here for stability assist. Go back in here, and so stability assist is on, and if I throttle up, I can actually look at this here. That's my throttle control right there. So here we go, and stage, and then I'm watching my thrust to weight ratio, and I don't want that to go much over 1. I need it to go over 1 in order to get some lift, but I want just a little bit. So as the engines spin up, we're getting very close to 1. 0.97, 98, 99, and there's 1. Okay, so now it'll go slightly over 1, and then I should get a little bit of lift. You can see it trying to get off the pad here, and there we go. And now I want to throttle back a little bit. There we go. All right, and so now if I turn around, I'm paying very close attention to the nav ball, and look at that, there's my shadow right there. Okay, and I'm still accelerating just a little bit, and I'm going to pitch forward slightly so that I can get over the vehicle assembly building. Alright, now I'm going to pull back so that I don't go too far forward. I don't want to go too fast here. There we go. And this is the easy part. Stopping my craft and then landing it safely, that's the hard part. That's the challenge. Okay, so I'm going to want to throttle down just a little bit. There we go. And pull backwards, and I've gotten a little bit of lateral velocity there. Okay, now if I pull backwards, I can stop my forward velocity. And I need to throttle up because I'm going down. And let's see if I can see that flag. Okay, now I don't want to go back up, is the trick. And my roll left and right are a little bit reversed, and I'm not sure why. It's a side effect of using this probe core, I think, on top of the thing. Okay. Yep, now I've got the real challenge here. So, gotta slow myself down. And I need to look at the nav ball, not necessarily the ground. Let's go ahead and turn around. Yeah, I am concentrating very hard here. Alright, I'm going down at 8 meters per second. That's a little fast. And now I'm going up. Yeah, newfound respect, like I said, for people who fly helicopters. This is really difficult, and I don't even have to deal with my tail rotor. It's basically a quadcopter without any real computer assist. Let's see if I can turn around and see where I am relative to that flag. I think I'm real close. Nope, I am not close. Okay. A little more throttle here. A little less throttle. But we are attending a funeral in style. That's what's happening here. Okay, I'm just going to bring it down here. This is close enough, and I can walk the rest of the way. A little exercise won't hurt Lindsay. Okay, and throttle up to slow my descent. And I'm going to kill the engines and come down. Oh, come down a little bit hard, but we are okay. All right, let's take a look how... Okay, well, I lost all 4 engines, so Lindsay is going to be walking home. All right, but let's EVA and let go. Okay, so we're pretty close though. There we go. And we're walking. All right, now can I... Yeah, okay, so shift is run. I was trying to use control like this is Minecraft, but nope, shift. There's no crouching in Kerbal Space Program. You can do it. You can do it. These guys need to lay off the snacks. Let's see, can I... Let's, lower visor, okay. Raise visor, okay, but I can't I remove? Yes, I can remove the helmet. Okay, cool. There we go, hats off. We gotta take the hats off. And I think we're gonna do it right here. We're going to face away from the... There's the craft over there. We're going to face away from the astronaut complex and plant a flag. So, first I think we need to honor Bill. Whoops, I've got caps lock on for fine control of my vehicle. Of Bill Kerman. Finally got to go to space. There's Bill's flag. Alright, and I don't want to knock that down. I think these might be a little bit bugged in that they are a little bit sensitive to being nudged. I've seen some clips on Reddit where people are showing that, and I don't want to knock down these memorials if I can help it. Alright, back to the craft. Yeah, we're pretty close. With some practice, I think I can get that thing pretty close, and maybe even some precision landing. It needs some design tweaks, and mostly just practice on my part. Also, sturdier landing legs. That's the best I've got. That's why they're doubled up, but still a bit springy. And where's the door? It's over here. Okay, there's the hatch. And if we board, And then we EVA again, and I should have another flag. Yep, awesome. I mean, I've been to funerals, but I've never arrived in a hovercraft. Not until today. Man, Lindsay is getting quite a workout. I mean, I guess he could have used his parachute and done paragliding to the memorial site. Okay, now if I go over here, hopefully I don't end up filling this area with flags, but any Kerbal that dies, I'm going to put a memorial flag here near the astronaut complex. All right, so then we've got Lismin. All right. Lismin Kerman. Nearly rescued from space. All right. And then back one more time for one more flag. I'm glad I didn't land any farther than this, because I don't want to spend too much of the stream just running around as a Kerbal. You can do it, Lindsay. You can do it. Alright, and I'm going to remember the door is on this side and just come straight over here. Climb the ladder and board the craft. Yeah, those are some wobbly legs. And EVA one more time and double check. Yep, I've got another flag. All right, final jog to the flag. I wish I could put that at half mast. That would be kind of hilarious. I mean, it would be somber. That's the word I'm looking for, is somber. Up the hill. You can do it, Lindsay. You can do it. He's breathing heavily by now. Almost there, almost there. You got this, Lindsay. You've got this. All right. All right, one more flag, and this one is for Theopont. There we go. In memory of Theopont Kerman. Now a plasma. Very rude. All right, there is our memorial. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see if I can get a real good screenshot of this. If I can change the field of view like this. Yeah, all right, here we go. Now let's see if this works. I've set something up here, and we're going to take 1 minute here for Bill, Lismin, and Theopont. right, there we go. They will always be remembered, but let's go launch some other craft. Real quick sprint back to the craft, and oh, actually, I think I can get some science from here. Yeah, I can get 9 science. So, surface sample from the astronaut complex. The toilet seems to be the cleanest room in the complex. Well, that's good to know. I'm not going to eat my snacks there, I guess. Alright, well, we'll take that sample back for our lab boys to analyze. And then we've got some future missions to do. So I'm thinking that it's time to have a permanent space station around Kerbal. And so I've got a core module that we can launch, and that will be something that we can dock other modules to in the future. And keeping a station modular like the International Station is means that we can replace modules as better technology comes available to us. Better technology and better means. So go ahead and climb that ladder. Lenzy, here we go, and board. And now let's just recover vessel. So we've got that, and I've also got a spacecraft ready to go. One that is intended to stay in space once launched. And so if we rescue any Kerbals, then we can send them to the sun, and then we can send another capsule up to bring them down, kind of like a Dragon capsule. So, alright, we've got 49 science. That's not quite enough for another technology. Nope, we need 90 in order to get another technology. Yeah, these landing legs, that's what I want. I want those, and I want this command pod, because that would have performed a ton better than the one that we used, which was, which one was it? Yeah, the pomegranate. That's the one that killed the 3 Kerbals. It definitely wasn't me. So, with the memorial service done, let's take a look at our spacecraft for today. And again, I am the most clever namer ever. Suggestions are always welcome. I actually tried to make something like a Starship analog, and it actually worked pretty well, but it definitely does not have the delta V I need. So what we're going to do here, first we're going to launch the station power module. So let's take a look at it. Here's the rocket, and if I expand this, we can take a look inside. Let's actually just take this off for now. So I've got it attached to the rocket with a docking port, and there's a docking port on either end of this. So we can dock other modules to these. And I've got these hinges, so this is the first time we're using the robotic parts, and those will deploy these solar panel and heat radiator arrays. And these are the only solar panels I have available so far, so at some point we'll have much better ones and we can replace the power module. So we've got floodlights, solar panels, antennas, and inside of here, if I can clip inside, there we go. So there's a probe core so that it can be automatically controlled, and we've got batteries as well and reaction wheels. So this should be very handy, and if I right click on the hinge, if I can get just the hinge, there it is. So I've got an action control group, and I can do this deployment here, and that is the action on these. And I'm going to go ahead and reload this craft. There we go. And yeah, so when I had Ferrum Aerospace Research installed, I was talking about this at the beginning of the stream. I think this was before you got here, Raider. I think it was calculating the aerodynamics for the fairings incorrectly. So instead of this making the craft more aerodynamic, it was making it much, much less aerodynamic. And I was needing to add a whole lot more drag than I really should have been for keeping this craft stable. So this, even these tiny fins, I don't particularly need, but they do help. And so I've uninstalled Ferrum, and I'm going to use MechJeb to show the atmospheric stats, which I only recently discovered it can do. And even better, as a big fan of charts and graphs, this has a flight data recorder. And MechJeb is a very controversial mod. A lot of people consider it cheating because you can use it as an autopilot or to plan maneuvers. And honestly, that is how real spacecraft are flown. A rocket like this isn't going to be flown by hand, although that's the Kerbal way, so I'm still going to do that until I'm much farther down the tech tree. For now, I'm going to use it only for things like the... so I've got my ascent stats here, and here's the atmospheric info here. So I've got angle of attack, side slip angle, Mach, dynamic pressure, and things like drag and such. So instead of using Ferrum to show that, I've got this, and I don't have to worry about the Ferrum window disappearing when I stage. But even cooler, I've got this flight recorder. And so this will give me a real-time graph that I can export of data. And so I'm going to put in altitude, I'm going to put in acceleration, and I'm going to put in aerodynamic pressure, or Q. And so this is like one of the screens they'll have up at mission control while monitoring the craft. So if you're watching real rocket launch live streams, this is the data they've got displayed. So let me a moment take a sip of my drink here. I've got these lights on even though it's daytime. They're still cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and throttle up. And this engine is extremely overpowered still for a launch like this, but here we go. SAS is on, caps lock on for fine control, and let's see if we can see our memorial on our way up. There are the markers for the flags. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. And I've actually got the thrust limited because this is so overpowered. Yep, there they are down there. I'm going to start my pitch over. I'm going to need to be a little bit aggressive. And here goes our graph. And I've got it as the statistics over time, but I can also do it as the statistics over downrange distance. And what the? No! Well, we've done a flip. Can I recover? Can I recover? Nope. Yeah, I had an aggressive angle of attack there. I'm going to cut the engines, and I don't have a flight termination system on this. Fortunately, this isn't an extremely expensive flight, and I have money to burn. So let's do that again. I'm not going to revert because that was user error. If it was a Kraken attack that is particularly mean and nasty, then maybe I'll revert, but I'm trying to do no reverts. And dang it. Let's try that again. Yeah, when I mouse over these other windows, then I don't have control over the rocket. And then I overcompensated when I got control back. So let's try that again. Expensive mistake, but no Kerbals were lost. And at least I don't have to wait for construction of these rockets because we're not using Kerbal construction time. Alright, let's turn on flight recorder though. Altitude, acceleration, aerodynamic pressure, throttle up, SAS on, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Alright, gentler this time. Yeah, it was even touchier when I had Ferrum installed. A lot more so than it really should have been. Alright, this is looking a whole lot better. This time, everything is looking nominal. And our vehicle is supersonic. And limiting the thrust like this reduces the maximum aerodynamic pressure, which we have just passed. Alright. And we're coming up on main engine cutoff here. Alright, main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start. And we can see in the graph that the acceleration dipped to 0 briefly as we did not have an engine pushing the rocket, and now it is back. And once our apoapsis is at about 120, there it is. I'm going to cut the engine, and we're going to aim for an orbit of 120 kilometers. So let's go ahead and stage the fairing. There it goes. And since we're not in orbit, those will fall safely back to Kerbal and not clutter our orbits, although those get deleted by the game. So it wouldn't really contribute to Kessler syndrome, but it's fun to simulate. Alright, now we're in space. I can warp to apoapsis. Gonna get about 20 seconds away from it. And with these reaction wheels, I have a lot of control authority over this rocket. Alright, and second engine reignite. We're going to point directly towards the horizon here, pitch down to 0 degrees. And there we go, and yeah, we can see the acceleration curve here like this. And as the mass of the rocket is going down as we spend fuel, acceleration goes up because our thrust-to-weight ratio goes up. And in fact, I can do mass right here. And we can see burning fuel, staging, burning fuel, losing the fairing, coasting, and not changing mass. And now we're burning fuel again, and mass is going down. Alright, things are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and pitch up a little bit. Our apoapsis is coming down a little bit, but our periapsis is rising rapidly, and so we will be in orbit shortly. This is one of those efficient but low power engines. Which one is this? This is, there we go. This is the Poodle, yep. I put it in the single bell configuration just because it looked better for this rocket. Our apoapsis is going back up. It's going up a lot faster than I'd like. But I need orbit, so let's go ahead and let it go, and we'll do a different orbit. There we go. So 160 kilometers, that'll actually be pretty good. So now let's go, we're going towards periapsis. Let's go back to apoapsis. Excuse me. All right, here we are. And we'll have a lot of control over this orbit at this altitude. So I can go really close to the apoapsis. There we go. And throttling up. It's not that important that this be a precise orbit, but it's always fun to make as precise an orbit as possible. Alright, and there we go. A 160 kilometer orbit. Not eccentric at all. So yeah, here's our altitude graph. And now that we have a very circular orbit, this will stay pretty much constant. There will be just the slightest wobble, although it's about to stop graphing because the storage on board this probe core is full. So let's go ahead and close that. And I'm going to leave this attached for now. It's only attached by a docking port, so it can be taken off at any time, but there's fuel left in there. So I might as well leave it there, and another spacecraft that I bring up here can refuel from that. And at some point, I'll be adding more fuel tanks to this station. And let's see, I think it was Action Group 1. There we go, here's the deployment. Gotta get those screenshots. Looking good, and I can turn on the lights. Even better. Let's do that again. There we go. All right. There's a successful mission right there. We have a station in orbit of Kerbal. There were no contracts of payout for this, so this is purely on my money and launched twice by dirt. So, all right, let's go back there and take a look at the next spacecraft launch today, and that is the passenger craft. In fact, there's a little tweak I think I needed. Alright, let's real quick look in mission control. Is there anything new? There is not. We don't have any contracts offered for rescuing Kerbals. We have to hire a pilot very soon. Alright, back into the VAB. Alright, so now Dan on display again. Last rescue craft we did was called Rescue 1 and Rescue 2. And here it is. Let's get that out of the way there. And this is I can build it with this technology. So if we've got a docking port, so we can use this to dock to that and refuel, and we can once we have a on board. So yeah, we have the cockpit, of course, are I think 3 of these Mark 1 crew cabins. So this has room for, I believe, 7 Kerbals. It has 2 of them, so 5 Kerbals. So I can send 1 pilot and rescue up to 4 Kerbals in 1 mission. And then we're going to need to have a way to bring them actually back to the surface, but we don't have that yet. We're not quite concerned about that yet. And the adjustment that I need to do is to the reaction control thrusters. So I was trying to see if I could optimize this and have some of them be in control of roll and some pitch, some yaw, and some translation. But unfortunately, that's relative to where you're controlling it. So while I was here controlling from the cockpit, but you want to control from the docking port properly, and then it wasn't working at all. And so maneuvering was in my test flight. So let's go ahead and show activation toggles. Let's just do, except not on throttle. I don't want, and I believe that controls this. Just thing. Yaw, pitch, roll. Starboard. Okay. Yep. And is all of it. And I've got navigators too, so that's fun. And I'm getting this other new engine. And Raider says, am I the only one having issues with the stream? With the stream, I'm showing no drop names. Let me check quick here. And it is looking pretty constant, so it doesn't. It's necessarily on my end, although my my replay is. Is it giving you all sorts of artifacting? I'm going to try refreshing and see if it looks any better, because, yeah, it's pretty gross. And I scroll up, how does that look? My image looks better, although it's having trouble buffering. Yeah, I don't know if maybe Twitch is having some. Well, that would be unfortunate. Yes, and sometimes loading. Artifacting. RIP. Is Twitch just being twitchy as I'm showing off my super cool spaceship? That's rude. Yeah, I never had any issues with your streams before, though. Yeah, I haven't. And according to OBS, I have frames, not using a ton of CPU, and streaming at kilobits per second. Yeah, it's like, huh. Well, hopefully that resolves it, because, yeah, I'm not sure what I can really do. Let's see, quality auto. I'm going to switch to quality source. And I think, although it's buffering a lot. Well, dang it. That's unfortunate. Alright, but this launch and hit save. And of course I have my flag all over it. And let's see what that looks like in the Twitch preview one more time real quick. Oof, yeah, it's artifacting a lot. Well, that's no good. I'm going to go back to OBS, and yep, no dropped frames. Alright, I'm going to pull it up on my phone as well and see what this looks like for you guys while I work on this. But I don't want to have a hang up on this, though. Let's turn down the volume so I don't get feedback. Alright, I'm going to scroll up and down a little bit and see what that looks like. Yeah, it's looking okay, actually. Alright, well, I'll take that. It might be on your end. I don't. So, but yeah, this is going to be a permanent space. It's not going. It doesn't have any land recovery capabilities at all. So when it's retired, it'll simply be orbited. And for now, though, we're gonna take it to space and talk with the station. So, did I save the changes? There we go. And we're gonna launch it. Look at the black screen for a moment. Yeah, double checking on my phone. Yeah, it's a little bit jumpy, but it's not as bad as what I was looking in the preview. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is there. And let's go ahead and pull up the flight recorder. I want altitude, acceleration, and aerodynamic pressure. Excellent. All right, I'm going to throttle up. And, oh, right, I don't have SAS because Lenzy is not a pilot. So, but I did a test flight of this, and I should be able to control the craft just fine. It's very stable. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. And it really gets going. So I'm going to start the gravity turn early before aerodynamic pressure is too high. And yeah, we're using these new engines, these the twin bore booster. And we're definitely well past supersonic already. So, in fact, I probably should have throttled way down. Alright, booster cutoff and booster separation. There's your correlative cross. And let's not get too harsh an angle of attack here. Although we're at a high enough altitude that it matters a whole lot less than it would have earlier. Disabled low latency seems to have fixed the issue. Okay, that is good to know. Thank you. I'm relieved that there was a solution and that it wasn't an issue on my end. That's good news for the VOD. Alright, and once we get to an apoapsis of 160, in fact, I'm going to pitch over. We're not in the soupy atmosphere anymore, so I can pitch over a lot more aggressively. And we have a lot of delta V with this thing, and the ability to refuel it, so we should be real good here. Alright, cutting the engine. And we're already in space. Yeah, this thing has power. Alright, and then we're going to get closer to apoapsis and circularize this orbit. Okay. Throttling up and pointing prograde. There we go. Alright, yeah, everything is looking good here. Everything is nominal. And it occurs to me that, okay, yeah, there's a main engine cutoff and separation, and here is... These are the engines on our main spacecraft, right here. Yeah, and it occurs to me that literally the only Kerbal available to me is on this spacecraft, so I'm probably going to need to hire a pilot. And this was an expensive launch. I didn't highlight the cost, but it is, I think, around 110,000 pesos. So, yeah, it's a lot. I need to pitch up. There we go. All right, that's better. And yeah, our periapsis is coming up, and we've got a lot of altitude to play with, so we will be good for orbit. But yeah, I can rescue him with a, or bring him back with a an automated craft if I need to. I'm going to go ahead and close the stream on my phone. I don't need that up anymore. But yeah, so far I'm not even needing to use the RCS, the reaction control system, but that is mostly there for the sake of maneuvering for docking. Docking without RCS is possible, and I've done it, but it is kind of a real pain. And there are our navigation lights. Look at that. I even have them accurate, so let's go ahead and turn over here. Watching my orbital parameters, I can't cut the engines because then I would come down. So yeah, this is definitely a very inefficient flight profile. But yeah, so you can see the green one is on the right and the red one is on the left, and on the back I've got collision avoidance lights, the white ones. Okay, there we go. We have an orbit. It's very eccentric. It's not a nominal orbit, but it's the one we've got. So now I want to get to the periapsis and bring down my apoapsis. Flipping end over end here. There we go. Hey! Lunar IPv4 is now following. Welcome to the stream, Lunar, and thank you for the follow. We are launching a prototype passenger, low-tech passenger craft, and into an orbit to intercept our first station, which is currently only a core module that generates power. And I am in desperate need of more Kerbals because I lost 3 last stream, and now Lenzi here, who is a rescue and is a scientist, is my only available Kerbal. I have a few that are on deep space missions, ones they weren't supposed to go on, but they did anyway. And I'm waiting for them to come home to see if I can recover them. And hopefully this is the craft that's going to do it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on RCS here. And let's point retrograde and bring that apoapsis down a bit. There we go. Alright, we don't need full thrust necessarily. There we go. That is pretty close. Okay, so now I want to get to apoapsis and circularize this orbit. Or better yet, let's go ahead and... oh, this is counting as a plane because of the core. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. Because I used the cockpit, it is classified as a space plane automatically. And of course I can change that, but... yeah, there's Lismin's shipwreck, which we never did turn back to classify as debris. We can do that later. And let's see. Station power module. And I'm going to need a good name for this station, but I'm going to take some time coming up with one. And of course, suggestions are always welcome. But now that is set as a target. And what is the relative inclination? It is 0.7 degrees essentially, so not bad. And here's our, okay, we're past the descending node, so let's go to the ascending node and add a maneuver. We want to go anti-normal, so I'm going to take the normal handle and push on it. And oh, let's pin that so I can see what this is going to do to it. All right. Fantastic. Okay, so that will put us in the same plane as our station. And that, let's move that out of the way. There we go. And that is a 25 meters per second burn in 14 minutes. So let's go ahead and warp a little bit. And I'm not going to do this at full thrust. In fact, this is the kind of maneuver that RCS can do. I don't think I'm going to use that, but I can. And I should probably add a probe core into this ship so that it's got some computer-assisted navigation, but I don't have that currently. So let's go ahead and point towards our maneuver, which is anti-normal. And this thing has plenty of RCS fuel, so... but still I want to be careful with it. Alright, let's go ahead and burn at low throttle. Alright, that is pretty good. So now here is our... Let's go ahead and get rid of that. We don't need that. It's just in the way now. Let's go and... There's target position. Here is our intersect. Cancel. I don't need that. Okay, this is the maneuver for Valentina. That is how long she has before she is ready to make her maneuver to see if she can get back to Kerbin. So I'm trying not to just warp to that. I'm going to see how much I can do in the meantime, because it doesn't seem reasonable that our space agency would just sit on our hands waiting for that to happen. Alright, so now we need another maneuver. Let's do it at periapsis? No, let's do it at apoapsis. And so if I now... Can I just pin that? There we go. That's how I do that. And so now if I go... That makes it worse. Okay, so I just need to go ahead and do the maneuver here and now. No, I think I do need to wait. So, oh, come on, give me that maneuver node. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so if I wait that many orbits, I'm not sure how many times I push that button, and then I burn prograde, and probably radial out. Nope, radial in will do it. Okay, so that's not helping very much, so I'm going to remove an orbit from this and see if that helps. Not a lot. Okay, so that is a little bit rough. Alright, so our station is back here, and we are ahead of it. So we need it to catch up, which means we need a higher orbit. So I'm going to go ahead and warp to apoapsis and raise my periapsis. And that will give us a slower orbit, and that will catch up to us. Alright, here we go. Delete and close. And let's point prograde. How's my fuel looking? Monopropellant is looking good. I've hardly used it. I definitely want to make sure I have some looking. Hey, Satan, welcome to the stream. We're going to try docking a fancy to the start of our new space station. Okay, so let's get where we can see this. Okay, so Paris is 70 kilometers, and I want that to be more than 160, so new apoapsis. Okay. So here's our current periapsis. Doesn't look... That's not agreeing with this. Okay, that must be the... That's the periapsis for the station. Okay, here is... Yeah, Kerbin periapsis 127. Okay, I think I... Wrong periapsis. So, let's go this apoapsis. Right here. We're almost there anyway. Okay, and once again we're going... Burn prograde is our orbit just a bit. If we go about by 170, that should be a good orbit to let the station catch. There we go. Alright, so now let's go here and add a maneuver. I'm going to focus the maneuver here. Alright. I want to... Okay, so intersect one is already pinned. So let's see as we go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, let's go that many orbits. 1 day and 5 hours in orbit. What I need to do is burn retrograde. Actually, prograde, because we're still going to be behind it. Or ahead of it, rather. Look at me pretending I know about orbital mechanics. Okay, that is as close as we can get with a prograde burn. Now we want radial out. No, radial. What is our version 0.1? Okay. So be pretty good. That gets us within 10 kilometers. That will end with only a 3.4 meters per second burn. So let's go ahead, warp to the maneuver. Okay. Yes. Apply change. There's our maneuver. Let's warp to it. Woo! And that should get us within 1 minute of the maneuver. Yep, 1 minute away, so delete and close, and we're already pointed almost towards it. There we go, and let's get real close, and we're going to burn this at very low throttle. Well, now it's telling me it's an 82 meters per second burn, so yeah, I think there was some issues with the calculation because of the number of orbits. Alright, so let's go ahead and throttle up. And follow the maneuver marker on the nav ball. There we go. Okay, so now... What in the world? Okay, that is our target. But how come I no longer have an intercept? I think the stock maneuver node just lied to me. So, I think what I need to do now... Oh, no, that'll pull up Steam. There we go. Now we're focused on our craft. Yeah, I think it just glitched. But we are very close, so let's... Okay, relative to the target. So, if I... So right now I'm pointed directly at the target. And I need to find the retrograde marker. Which it is not. Okay, there we go. There's prograde on that side, so I need retrograde over here. Let's pull up fuel. I want to monitor my RCS usage. There we go. Alright, and let's slow down relative to our target. Alright, that's working out pretty well. And I want to be careful what this does to our orbit too, because this is going to dip us into the atmosphere. But once I approach, that will be remedied. And right now we have a pretty good altitude, so we have some time. Alright, let's point directly at the target. And yeah, because that maneuver node lied to us, this is not an efficient flight. But it will do. Alright, and I'm going to overshoot this so that we can pull the prograde marker towards the craft. Yeah. This is going to be interesting here. Okay, so our target separation is going to be 73 meters, or kilometers at this rate. Oof. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Yeah, I need to burn prograde, or we're going to, let's see, vertical speed. Okay, we are going upwards now. Okay, so we are fine. But I do need, I need to do point radial in. That's what I need to do. Yes. Okay, so this will get us within 2 kilometers once we get to our closest approach. So I'm going to go ahead and warp to there, and then we can match speed. Okay, so yeah, relative to the target, now I definitely want to kill my speed, and that will put me in roughly the same orbit, and I will no longer be in danger of burning up in the atmosphere. Okay, throttling up, and I'm going to push the retrograde marker towards the target, the retrograde target marker rather. I'm just going to kill the speed relative to the target entirely. And yeah, my periapsis is going up. That's good. Okay, let's get out of map view. Here's my cool ship. And where is the target? It should be off to the left just a bit and up. There it is, right there. Okay. Alright, thinking hard about these maneuvers here. Okay, let's pull the prograde marker there, although we're going to come in pretty fast like that, so I want to go back to the retrograde marker. I still have fuel to work with, and we can do a refueling mission after this. Okay. And we're good on monopropellant for the RCS thrusters, so that's what we're going to need for the docking maneuvers. Alright, I've more or less killed our relative velocity. We're only going 2 meters per second relative to the target. And so now I've got a lot of control over how I approach. Okay, so now I can use the RCS controls for fine control over our approach. Alright, now that I've got those in alignment, we're going directly towards it, although that does drift as we go around the planet. So I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, that's drifting a lot, in fact, because our relative velocity is so low. So I'm actually going to accelerate just a bit. There we go. Let's go for about 10 meters per second. It would make the guys at the International Space Station nervous, but we've got some more leeway than that on Kerbal Space Program. Alright, we'll time warp until we're a little bit closer, and yeah, that drifts as our orbits drift apart. So a correction will be needed. Alright, not bad, not bad. Alright, once again pointed directly towards it. And we're only going 6 meters per second now. Alright, we're in visual range here. I can see the station from here without the need for the HUD. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is change the point of control to the docking port. So docking port control from here, because this is what I actually want lined up with the station. There we go. And slowing down a little bit because we're getting really close. I can see the solar panels and everything. Yeah, with this inefficient approach, I'm using a lot more fuel than I am comfortable with, but I did build in some good margins here. It does mean we're going to need to definitely do a refueling mission. Okay, we're about 160 meters away. And even this is much faster than approaches to space stations in reality. I'm speeding. And I'm paying most attention to the nav ball here because anything else is going to be highly misleading. Alright, we are 60 meters away. I'm going to need to slow down some more. Yeah, if I had stability assist, that would be incredibly helpful. That's a cool shot right there. Don't have much time for the screenshot though. 1 meter per second. And we are lucky that it is in alignment like this. Usually I have to do some more aligning than this. Okay, come on. There we go. Slowing down. Whoa, we hit it. There we go, and we are docked. Look at that. Oh. Oh no, did we lose it? No, the hinge just went... Oh, why? Oh man. Okay, so that's some hilarious clipping there. And we do have electric charge, so that's not the issue. It's just really, really wobbly. Okay. Well, if I had an engineer, I could take him on EVA and add some struts, but I don't have an engineer. He's the one who went on the rescue mission last week and was killed in action. I definitely don't want to undock right now because then it will start processing these as separate craft and we'll have a collision. So, but here's something I can do. If I pin that window there, and let's see, which tanks should I fuel? So let's go for the core tank. Ooh, yeah, this is going to be rough trying to refuel because these are all different tanks. Let's go right in here. Here's a fuel tank. Okay, so transfer in. Yeah, we're just going to refuel this here. Okay, that tank is full, and now we've got the tank behind it. And in... And we're going to take all the leftover fuel from the station launch and put it into this passenger craft. Unfortunately, we don't have any monopropellant for it. Okay, that looks like it is full as well. So let's see, do I have another one behind it? Okay. I do not. So that gets a little bit awkward because then we're talking about putting this thing off balance. So let's... I wonder if I could just do... Oh no, I have to have 2 tanks up if I want to do a transfer. So let's pull this one and we'll fill this one, and then we'll do the one on the opposite side and hopefully have a little bit of balance. I also don't have to take all the fuel if it's going to cause me any issues. I think we'll be okay. There we go. And now we go in. And there is a mod that will automatically balance these, but I'm trying to take it easy on installing the mods, so... Alright, okay, so we still have enough for, I think, 2 of these, so let's go here. Yeah, that did a number on that. Alright, and finally, we'll go here and transfer fuel in this way. Did that not go? That did not go. There we go. And if there's a little bit left over, that is fine. It's just fumes at this point. Yep, there's a tiny bit left over. But if I transfer it anywhere, I'll have an unbalanced spacecraft, and that is no good. So let's go ahead and undock this. And we will control from here, and let's back off a little bit from that. There we go, and see if that will right the final solar panel and radiator. Alright, that is looking pretty cool. Alright, farewell transfer stage for the space station. I'm gonna need to bring an engineer up here to sturdy this with some struts. But I don't have an engineer. Going to take an inspection all the way around the outside here, and let's actually go ahead and turn on all of these lights. There we go. Yeah. Alright, that is looking nice. So, now that is keeping this charged, keeping the batteries charged, and we've got a pretty decent amount of fuel, and this delta V calculation is not correct because it's assuming that I am taking this with me anywhere I go, which is not the case. Oh, and I have stability assist now because of the probe core that is inside the station core. So that is handy. Let's turn off the RCS. I don't want to waste any of that. But let's go ahead and send up a passenger module. Or should we send up a fuel tank? Let's send up a fuel tank. So let's go to the Space Center. And let's see if there are any... Let's let a couple days pass and see if there are any new contracts. Hopefully ones that let me rescue Kerbals, because I desperately need pilots. Alright. So let's warp to the next morning. And the next one. And take a look at mission control. Add a new part to satellite in orbit of Kerbal. Bring a Duna stone back. Surface outpost on the moon. Plant a flag on Minimus. Oh, here we go. Oh, good. We do have 2 rescues. Okay. Perfect. Rescue Eric Uspensky. So they're not all Kermans. Huh. That is new. Eric Uspensky and Natalia Lopatina from orbit of Kerbal. Okay, yeah, I will do that, and hopefully at least one of them is a pilot, and if not, hopefully one of them is an engineer. Okay, so let's go ahead and refuel that craft. Let's go and make a quick and dirty launch vehicle. We're going to want to take some monopropellant and some fuel and oxidizer. So let's let's just make a new craft, and we'll start with a probe core and a fuel tank. So let's go ahead and, how big is that one? Yeah, let's do that. That's not the big one. There we go. And, whoops, another one of these. Okay, and that there is going to be the cargo. So we're going to want to add RCS to this. Let's go ahead and add, okay, what RCS fuel tanks do I have? I only have these. So this is what I have. It's inside that fairing that made the shape of the body of the passenger craft, but this is what I have on that craft, adding the RCS. So there we go. That's pretty good. And let's put battery on the bottom here and more RCS. There we go. That balances it and adds some fuel to it. So now we need the thrusters. Let's go ahead and do, let's see, that has what's the thruster power? 0.1 and what? Okay, so we need the heavier duty ones. And we're going to put them, we only want 4-way symmetry. We want them there. And we want 5 horns. Okay. And at the bottom as well. Okay, so that will give us plenty of control over this craft. And yeah, I don't know why Kerbal Engineer sometimes does and sometimes doesn't let me know what the RCS is going to do for me. And this time, unfortunately, it is not. So now we want docking ports. There we go. Right there in the center. And let's put one on the bottom as well. Very cool. And another one attached to that, and that is what we are going to attach the fairing to. So if I go now to payload, and will it let me do just an inner stage like this? I don't think it will. Yeah, because it's clipping, so it doesn't like that. So here's what I'm going to do. This is the length that I want, so I'm going to put it out here like this. Whoops. At that length, and then I'm going to add a dummy node there and terminate the fairing, and then let's shift this part downwards. We're going to trick the game into letting me do the fairing that I want. There we go. Okay, so now if I edit the fairing, and I want it right there, like that. Just like that. Okay. And now I can just pick it up and place it there, and ha, I tricked you, game. Now I've got the fairing that I actually want. So let's do clamshell deploy. And actually, we want to not stage this fairing. The clamshell deploy is just in case, but I probably won't even... No, actually I will need to do it because I will want these RCS thrusters exposed so that they can do their work. So we've got a battery, we want some solar panels. There we go. Wouldn't do to run out of power and not be able to do the refueling mission. Okay, and then this, we want... Does this have cross-feed? It doesn't look like it. Okay, cool. Alright, so now we can put another fuel tank on the bottom of this. And another one. And an engine. Let's do the mainsail. Excellent. And let's see if this is being calculated in the delta V stats. It is. But without it, we have 3,200 meters per second, and with it, we have almost 5. And so that should be plenty, but let's add a little bit more just in case. Alright, cool. So there is our refueling rocket. And again, if we drain these tanks of anything that can be spent... Okay, yeah, that actually gives only... And that's even misleading because it's going to have to pull more than that is up there. So let's add some boosters. Let's do solid ones today. Yeah, let's see, which one is the big one? Okay, the Pollux. Holy cow, this one is huge. Yeah, that is overkill. There's no kill like overkill, right? Okay, that one will be excellent. Let's put them right there. And let's add a strut so that they are stable. Or sturdy, rather. Did that place? No, it did not. Okay. Alright, now it's placed, and we can just stabilize that like that. Okay, cool. And let's make it aerodynamic. And this is just about ready to fly. And here's what I can do. Okay, so if I put the oxidizer back in, but then tell it not to let the fuel flow. Just like that. Okay, so now we have a better idea. And it is not as much as I thought. So let's pull these off, actually, and add more fuel. Let's actually add another stage. Yeah, this is Kerbal. Always adding more stages, always adding more boosters. Let's see. We want probably, yeah, the skiff. Or the skipper. Now this one's more efficient. Okay. And then coupling. We want the big decoupler. And then another fuel tank. All this just for refueling. Okay, like that. That should be pretty good. Alright, and that gives us a lot better delta V. But does it give us enough? Dang it. Alright, let's go with the big ones. Let's go with the big guys. Just like this, and shift it downwards. Those are big. Okay. That's too big. There we go. That's the right size right there. Alright, and that should make them secure so they won't wobble. And let's add a little bit of aerodynamic stability, and I think we are ready to launch. Just like that. Let's check the aerodynamics. Oh yeah, those are great. That's incredibly stable. Alright, and we'll check the staging. Okay, all those light at once, then we jettison the strap-on boosters, and then we jettison the core stage, and then we've got the upper stage. Alright. So, that's not particularly aerodynamic, but I think we'll be fine. We'll find out. Alright. Yeah, 64,000 spaceos, and here is our refueling mission. And it shouldn't spend any of the fuel that's in here, so we should have a full fuel tank to do the refueling. And we're going to use as little of the RCS as possible so that we can refuel the RCS as well. Alright, let's go ahead and launch. And the idea is that we can keep using this spacecraft for picking up passengers and bringing them back to the station, and then we're going to have another rocket to launch return pods. Escape pods, essentially. Alright, here we go. And it is a sunrise launch. RCS, or not RCS, SAS on. Throttle up. Alright. And 5, 4, wait, let's put on our flight recorder. There we go. Altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure. So yeah, this is an untested craft, so I want to see the data here. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Not bad. Gets right up off the pad. Let's start our pitch over. Oh man, it looks like the core stage might actually burn out before the solid boosters, but that is fine. We can tweak that for a future launch and have better balanced stages. And we are definitely past supersonic and past maximum aerodynamic pressure. Continuing to pitch over. Yeah, it's not ideal that our core stage will burn out before the SRBs, but it'll work. Yeah, and I can't shut these down, and already my apoapsis is really high. Yeah, this is not great. And I don't have any gimbling anymore. Okay. Let's get rid of those. Okay, there we go. And we get a boom, but it's a safe one. Alright. I'm cutting that right there. Let's actually point radial in. And let's... oh, man. Talk about a an inefficient flight here. But this angle will let me raise my periapsis and lower my apoapsis at the same time. Oh man, yeah, this is not gonna work. This is 64,000 spaceos in the garbage, I'm afraid. Yeah, I need a whole lot more on that core stage, I'm afraid. I could allow it to take fuel from this, but I really, really don't want to. Yeah, we do not have the Delta V to get to orbit like this. Yep, it was the inefficiency, and we lost a lot. I have a hard time believing we lost only 98 meters per second to drag. We lost plenty to steering, yes, and we're continuing to do that. But yeah, this is not a good rocket. All right. So here's the pattern for this stream. Launch 1 gets dunked into the ocean, and launch 2 goes well. Let's hope that that continues, because we still have time to try this one again. If I was in a more hardcore mode for this, then I would not be able to... yeah, there we go. Boom. I would not be able to afford that. Alright, Space Center. Not reverting. Not doing a revert. There were no Kerbals aboard, so no one was lost. And why is that all here? Okay. Let's modify this vehicle. Now I could say before launch that I'm going to do a test flight, which is basically what I've been doing off camera, and just see how a thing flies. And so then I'm reverting no matter what, whether the test resulted in a crash or was a successful orbit or maneuver. It's only a test, so it doesn't count whether I succeed or fail. But right now I'm just doing it this way. And yeah, let's go ahead. No, I don't need to do anything with that fairing. All right, let's pull the boosters off. And let's add another tank. Let's add even another tank and see what that does. Okay, so now this would barely be able to make it off the pad. So let's break that one. And so this will burn for 1 minute and 37 seconds. How long do these burn for? That's what I should have checked before. That does not say, but if I put it on here, then Kerbal Engineer will tell me. 1 minute 14, okay. Let's pull it off again, and let's add a smaller tank. Just like that. Alright, so if these burn for about 1 minute and 14 seconds, that means we've got about 39 seconds of extra burning for the core stage, which is fantastic. And let's add 4 of these, yep, just like that. And if I put this in the same stage, okay, that is perfect. And what is this stage here? Huh. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That is, okay, so the first stage is all 5 of these engines burning together, and then I jettison the solid boosters, and then I've got about 39 seconds of just the core stage burning, and that'll be great. let's add just a little bit more delta V to the top here as well. Okay. That is a tall rocket. That's the tallest rocket I've built so far. And mainly it's because I've got a really tall... Okay, well... Come on, give me that. There we go. Tanker 1. Classic Dan naming. All right. Let's launch it. Black screen. Come on, Kerbal, you can do it. Go. Here it comes. All right. Recorder, altitude, acceleration, and aerodynamic pressure. All right. SAS on. Fine control on. We're throttled up. All right. 5, 4, 3, 1, launch. We're starting with about 1.0, which is about what the Saturn V had, if I recall correctly. We're pitching over. Okay, yeah, this seems a lot more reasonable. We are supersonic. Maximum aerodynamic pressure. So we're accelerating. The atmosphere is thinning, so the loads on are going down. Maneuver, and yes, our solid boosters are definitely going to burn out before the core stage, which is exactly what we want. We're pulling 5 Gs. Good thing there are no on the board. They would not be comfortable. 6 Gs. All right, SRB and separation. I didn't add any separations on those, so that was a tight fit. Oh, and our alley high again. So, but we're going to go ahead and coast. Now we're in space. Get to that apoapsis. All right, and throttle back up. And pitch down to 0 degrees. There we go. And now we can adjust our orbit and get a maneuver. So I have a little bit of time to of leeway in the time for the stream. There's main engine separation and second engine start, as the rest of the family is out doing some. And I don't want to make a habit of going over the 2 hours by a lot, but if we need a little time to do this mission, I have it. So that is good news. And let's pitch up. This is the heaviest launch by far that I've done, and it is showing. This is a little bit rough. The rocket equation is hitting hard here, and oh man, this one's even more expensive than the last one. Am I gonna hit orbit? I think so. Let's see, I can do a little bit of physics warp without taxing my too hard. Okay, yeah, we're good. And yeah, we've got a decent amount of altitude to work with, so that's good. Down to 15 degrees. Our periapsis is coming up fast, so I think we are. even if only just barely. And this time I will, it looks like I will let it start spending some fuel from the big tank up here. Alright, there is... Alright, just like last time, let's go ahead and get to Periapsis. Okay, so here is our orbit here. Let's see, where is... There's Rescue... So yeah, Rescue 2 is the station right now. But since we're docked to it, it's telling me what spacecraft that is the target. And let's pin the intersect data. Good inclination here. So let's go ahead and go to Apoapsis and add a maneuver there. And let's see. Go one orbit forward. That makes it worse. Okay, so we'll do the maneuver immediately. And so I probably want to go radial out. Yes. Okay, but if I go that much radial out, then I will back into the atmosphere. So let's not do that. Let's in our periapsis after the maneuver. And let's add some prograde to this maneuver. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Let's with the radial out as well. Yeah, I'm pretty myself intersects all over again in games because I am extremely rusty at this. Okay, 4.7 kilometers we can do with that. The rest is due to our planes of inclination. So we'll do this maneuver and then at our a quick plane correction, and that will help. So that's 200 meters per second, and we have 50 to work with. All right, we can do that. 30-second burn in 24 minutes. Let's go ahead and warp closer to it. Okay, and with this, let's go ahead and turn the RCS on. And let's look at our fuel. Yeah, I don't want to use a lot of it. Let's go ahead and turn S off so that it won't immediately correct. And let's go ahead and let's rotate towards our maneuver node. That just about does it. Let's turn SAS back on. And we are actually past our node. Should be okay. We've got some leeway on that. Full throttle. Sending node that will have the highest need of precision. Okay, and a little bit we'll do at very low throttle. Okay, that is close enough. Okay, so now we have let's zoom in. Oh. Separation of 106. So if we go to the ascending node here and add a maneuver, it's the maneuver, there we go. So now we need to go, it's an ascending node, so we need to go anti-normal. And if I pin that one. Look at it. Okay. And that puts us in the same plane, and if I go, let's see, what is our periapsis? Oh, our orbital parameters are pretty safe. We're not going to fall back into the atmosphere. Let's go radial out. And retrograde. We don't want to go too far retrograde, or we will fall out of the atmosphere. Or back into the atmosphere, rather. Okay, that is looking really good. That will get meters. Can I get it any closer? Yeah, 200 meters away is practically a collision. And we don't want a collision, but it is something we can work with. And we have the Delta V to do this maneuver without dipping into the fuel tank that we deliver to our passenger craft. So that is a second burn in 14 minutes. Let's warp to about 2 minutes out, and then let's get it in the right direction. There we go. And I can feel that this craft, it is responding very sluggishly to controls. This is definitely a big tanker craft. We're space truckers right now, that's what we are. Okay, now let's get towards the maneuver. Let's split it. So half 6 is 18, so at about 18 seconds. And I'm actually going to do it at about 20. Alright, full throttle. Let's go back to map view. Alright, and I'm going to carefully this maneuver marker. Just about there. I'm going to throttle a little bit for precision. Okay, within 1.1 meters per second, that is pretty good, and our separation is 2.8 kilometers. Alright, I will take it. So now if I go back to our tanker craft, there we go, and there is our target there. It is going to catch up with us right there, and then we're going to need to match velocity. And yeah, I very well might need to dip into the actual payload to make the last little bit of our maneuver. We'll find out. So relative speed at approach actually might not be bad. Let's take it out of time warp. Yeah, we might actually be pretty good. I don't trust that though. Okay, we're getting really close here. Okay, yeah, actually, we might be pretty good. So there's our distance. Our it doesn't say how long before we will get there. 2 minutes. Okay. So I want to make sure that I am pointed retrograde to the target. And here it is, moving very slowly. Spending my monopropellant, which I really want to deliver to the target. If it looks like a future mission will require a lot of refueling missions, I might do some of those off camera, but I want to do at least main missions on the camera. Though it can get to the point that if I'm doing everything in the stream, then we'll never leave the Kerbal system. So I want to not do too much of the same thing every stream. So next stream we'll be using this new spacecraft to do a couple of rescue missions. And hopefully soon we will be seeing Valentina and Jeb and Bob again. Okay, we are getting really close, and I really need to bleed off some of the speed. I'm going to push the retrograde marker closer to the retrograde target marker. Alright, now I am going straight towards it. Separation at approach is 240 meters. Fantastic. I have 95 meters per second to spare, and then the rest will be done with the RCS. And I'm definitely spending the RCS fuel. It's always amazing how fast that goes. Yeah, spending more than I'd like to. Alright. Okay, I don't think it's actually burning that. It's just that the animation is on while I'm in time warp. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, because I was watching and nothing was changing in my attitude or in my resource reserves. Okay, we're getting close. Separation 18 meters. Yeah, we can see it. There it is. We're a little close. We are a little close. Okay, that was closer than I'm comfortable with. All right, let's okay. We've passed it now. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch vessels and let's undock. Let's see. All right, let's do it from here. Actually, there we go. Now, here we are. And so where is our refueling craft? Might have to select it from map view. Or let's do this. Let's do this. Is it under probes? Yes, Tanker 1. All right, Tanker 1 is the target. There it is. And we want to control from here. All right. Actually, first let's control from here. And let's pull away from this station because we do not want to impact it. All right, now we'll do control from here. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Spend more monopropellant. Yeah, I'm very likely to do a little bit more refueling off camera so that next stream we are ready to dive straight in to the rescue missions. Oh yeah, I can't do the SAS because I don't have a pilot. That is part of the point of all this, is to get a pilot. Let's kill this spin. There we go. All right, now let's switch to this and point it towards our craft so that we are in alignment. And we definitely want to control from the docking port. There we go. Because we are getting farther away and that is not what we want. Oh, yep. fact, that has fooled me. Let's get all the way around. And pretend that we know what we are doing. Okay. Oof, yeah, this is difficult to control. I keep saying, but it is true. Okay, now we are headed towards the target. All right. Control from here, we already are. Beautiful. Okay, we are lined up, and now we just need to get there. About 600 meters out. $500 meters. 400. 300. Okay. Definitely want to be slowing down. Be fun to get a flight stick or something for this. I'm using my keyboard. I've never played Kerbal with anything other than a keyboard, but it would be interesting to play it with some more realistic flight controls. I know some people make some really detailed custom controllers for this. That would be fun. Don't know when I would have the time to do that, though. And we are just spinning. I don't like the spin. Let's kill the spin. There we go. And we really need to slow down some more. Oh yeah, we are coming in a little faster than I'm comfortable with. Oof. And we're spending more monopropellant than I'm gonna get from this refueling mission. Assuming it's successful, I might have to abort this. Yeah, we're gonna have an impact. Boom. Just a gentle little impact, but it was an impact. Okay. Okay, make sure that the docking port itself is the target. Yeah, this is not normal. But at least it's not a whole bunch of Kerbals being killed in action. That was the least normal. All right, let's line this up. We are relatively stationary, which is good. Okay. Kill the rotation. Yeah, I really should get a pilot on here who can hold attitude. All right. Now I want to set this as the target. And control from here. And let's face directly towards that docking port from this docking port. At least we've got lots of fuel to deliver, so that is not nothing. Yeah, I used to be real good at this, but I am not in practice. Okay, we are pointed directly at that docking port. Let's go back to here. Not there. Here. And make sure we're doing control from here. And targeting this docking port. Whoop. Set target. Okay. Alright, we are aligned. Bring the program in line. Yeah, sorry, I'm constantly hard, so there's not a lot of talking at the moment. Meaningful. Okay. Alright, everything is lined up. A little bit more speed, so about 0.2 meters per second. That's pretty good. Yeah, this is a little bit out of aim, but I think we can adjust it as we get in there. Yeah, having a pilot aboard to hold the angle steady, very helpful. Okay, out. Hold it steady, hold it steady. 7 meters. Yeah, we are. This is non-ideal here. Oh. Okay. Let's see if I can turn this toward the docking port. Controlling 2 vessels at once here. Our practice. This is kind of hilarious. Boy. Yeah, everyone's watching us. Well, 3 people are watching me do this. And it is... I got it. Have I got it? Have I got it? Oh, that is so close. That is so... Hold steady, hold steady. Just enough for the magnets to engage. Yes. Oh, come on. Okay. Just a bit. Yeah, this is holding to just fine and spending... There we go. There we go. And spending all my as it does so. Alright. We have a successful docking. And so now I can transfer all the fuel from here into this vessel. And I have to select the tanks individually because I don't have a mod for automatically balancing the tank. So I'm going to do that after the stream. We're already over, and I think this is a great place to come. Just watched me pretty much teach myself orbital docking again, almost. Haven't done this in years, and it is not the easiest thing just to get back to where I used to be. Oh, and that explains part of the issue. I didn't stage this, so I had these RCS ports doing any work. These ones were doing nothing. The whole point of having this staged, and I didn't do it. There's a derp, but today's derps did not result of any Kerbals, and that is what is the ship that is going to go and rescue some new Kerbals, hopefully a pilot, hopefully an engineer. Let's see who is online that I can raid. Let's see. Oh, Tyler Reyes is online. He's got a lot of viewers though. Let's go ahead and take a small amount of viewers here. He is working on making a space station out of starships, SpaceX starships. And it's been a long time since I've caught one of his streams, but that's where we're going to go. So let's go back to here, and I'm going to start a raid. Tyler Reyes. Alright, yeah, everybody, thank you for watching. Thanks for watching me derp on orbital mechanics. And I'll see you either this Wednesday for some more Minecraft or next Saturday for the next rescue missions. And thank you for watching.
Oh, thanks for the raid, Dan Bear Pig. Unfortunately, I'm wrapping up Kerbal. I'm switching to GTA by request. I just had 5 hours of dealing with this thing.